All right, so let's add some particle effects to our game. Simple little things that happen when we run to a bomb or maybe pick up a coin or something like that. And we're also set up to trigger some sort of little audio cue, nothing crazy. And we'll just kind of show you the basics for how to do it, and then you can kind of add your own. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to open our blueprint for our trap item. And then in here, we're going to want to do a couple different things, but we kind of got to do them in stages. First thing we want to do is we want to trigger something called a Niagara particle system. Well, I'm going to right click and I'm going to search for Niagara, and we'll do add Niagara particle system component. And we'll connect this here. What does this do? Well, particle system is a special tool that's inside of a game engine or something like that, where it uses some simple math, or complex math actually, and some basic shapes to create really complex and interesting looking particles, like glowy things or explosions or things like that. Now, with this, we need to actually create our particle system. So I'm going to go to my content drawer, content folder, and I'm going to right click, new folder, and I'll call this Niagara particles. And open that up, and we're going to right click here and we'll search and we'll get a Niagara system. So create a new one, and then let's go ahead and look for omnidirectional burst. You can also just search up here for omni and get this. Click create, and then call it NS_burst. Let's open that up. What is this? Well, I'm going to dock this here so you can see it. But we can actually see a preview of the particle system. So it's just making a simple little explosion. Now there are like explosion particle systems, and if you look in the templates, there's a bunch of different things you could work with. You can customize and create your own. You can look up online for how to do some. But I'm going to start with just simple burst. I'm actually not going to change anything here. I don't want to change anything here yet. I'll go back to my BP trap item. And with this node selected, we'll set the asset over here to NSBurst. I'll compile and save. And now, if I take my blueprint for trap item, I'll put a couple more in here. When I run into one of these bombs, one of these traps, it'll play that little particle system. Easy. Now for the color, I can go in here and in the Niagara system, I'm going to look down here where it has initialized particle, or particle spawn, either one. There's a ton of stuff here. We're not going to worry about those. What we are going to look at is the color. So over here, I'm going to select a color. I'm going to do like a reddish orange, really full color there. Click OK. Then I hit compile and save, and it changed the particle system to be red. Now if I run into it, now I have red. So we have this Niagara particle system, which is the new particle system, but we actually have access to some stuff in the starter content. If we go to content drawer, starter content, particles, we have some things for like an explosion and a fire and smoke and sparks. I'm actually going to go ahead and drag explosion in here and connect this for after the Niagara particle system. Compile and save. And now it'll play a little explosion with the particles. So that much cooler. I'm going to go to my BP pickup item, the pickup, and I'm going to add in sparks. Compile and save that and see what happens. That's pretty cool. It stays way too long, so not really quite what we want to do, but it's still pretty cool looking. So maybe instead of that, let's go and create a new particle system, a new Niagara system. So I'll do Niagara particles, right click, Niagara system, and look and see what we can find here. For this one, I'm also just going to set it to be a omnidirectional burst. And I'll call this one NS underscore, call it NS sparkle. And I'll open this one up and I'll go to my particle spawn or initialize particle, whatever, color it. I'll make this one be blue. You can pick whatever color you want. Click OK, file and save. And for a BP pickup item, now we want this one to use a sparkle. So I'll grab NS sparkle and drag this here and connect that. And there we go. NS sparkle's done. I'll take this thing and run in here and I get a good sparkle. Well, what about audio? How do we make this trigger an audio file? Go to my BP trap item. I want this to play an audio cue. So I'm going to go to my content drawer, starter content, audio, and I have explosions. Explosion 1, 2, explosion Q. I can grab explosion Q and just drag this into my system after the particle. Connect that there. And let's see what happens. It played the audio. Simple as that. Easy enough. We don't necessarily have a full audio cue. How do we actually import something and work with it? For the ding sound or some sound when you pick up a gem, I'm going to go to my content drawer, go to fab.com, or you can just go to fab.com and do it from there. And I'm just going to search for audio, filters, price, only show free. And then I'm going to grab some basic sounds. I'm going to go for this 50 free game sounds pack license. I'm going to select free for personal. I'm going to click add to project. I'll download that. Now it's important, like with any other assets we're working with, we want to make sure we're not importing too much into GitHub. So we need to go through here and figure out which ones we want. So here I have the free sounds pack. Go to Q and look and see which ones are here. There is one here that is special collectible. So special collectible 26. And then 9 right there. I'm going to keep these two, but I'm going to delete all the rest of them. I'll keep these two, but I'm going to select all these other ones. Click the bottom one and hold on shift. Click just like that. Right click, delete, delete. And then select the rest of these, right click, delete. So we have those two cues. And I'll go to the other folder here, the WAV folder. I'm going to find the ones that are special collectible. These two right here. I'll keep those, but I'll delete the rest of these. Now, the way that audio works here, you'll have your cue, which will have your settings for like the audio, the volume, direction, things like that. Then you have the actual file itself, in this case, the WAV file. So these cues are what you add to trigger these sounds. Easy enough. So I'll go to my BP pickup item. I will go to my cues folder and I'll drag this one right here, the 26. I'll drag that in. If you choose to do something else, that's fine too. And I will connect this here. It'll play that audio right there. So let's test it out. Compile and save. There we go. All right, so we have audio playing when we pick something up. It'll play a particle system. How about we have some music that actually plays? So for this, again, I'm going to go to my content drawer, fab.com, and I'll look for some music. So audio, filters, price, free. And I want to kind of stick to a retro kind of vibe. So I'm just going to go with this one just because you can kind of go with whatever one you want. So go ahead and click add to projects, download those, and then we'll get them set up. So once you have those downloaded, you can find it in their folder, wherever it is. I'm going to grab loops. I'll just pick one. Now I'm deciding to go with this Sonar Dreams one. So just like the previous things, I'm going to select all the other ones and delete. Then go back for the Q folder, grab the full. I'm going to download these, delete all of these. Then WAV files, going through here, delete all of these in full. Then in loops, delete everything except for that one. Again, depends on whichever one you pick. Your structure might be a little bit different, but same basic principles apply. We just want to have the music and that's it. The one that we're actually going to use. How do we actually implement this? A couple different ways. We can attach this to our game mode where it'll play just in the game, or we can attach it to the player. We can also put it at a specific location. So you can make it so it plays at a specific like speaker location. I'm going to attach it to the player. So I can go to my blueprints, go to my VP player ball. Then here, after we bind the input, go down to my queue and just drag this in. Compile and save. There we go. We now have basic particles and audio. This is all extra stuff. And I'm more or less picking random things. I'm not going for a cohesive point. Like in this level, I might have done something more like fantasy based. But I just wanted to kind of get this up and running to show you guys. So that's it for this one. Thanks.